Hello students, in this lecture we will discuss about sense organ, the human eye. As you know, human eye is a sense organ which helps in vision, and also it is located in the orbit on the front side of the head. So we have two eyes and both are located on the head region in the front part. Now, the human eye, here you can see a human eye, and this human eye has different structures. At first, eyebrows. Here eyebrows, these are the eyebrows. Eyebrows are not the part of our eye, but it helps in preventing our eyes from trickling perspiration as well as raindrops. Next of all, here this is the eye, and here eyelids. These are upper and lower eyelids, and these eyelids are made up of epithelial tissue, and they help in shutting down of the eyes light, as well as it prevents entry of different particles inside the eye. At the edges of the eyelid, there are a number of curved hairs are present, and these hairs are known as eyelashes. So eyelashes again prevents our eyes from entering small particles as well as small insects to the eyes. After eyelashes, we can see here, it is the white part of our eye, which is known as sclera, and here this one is the lacrimal gland. So lacrimal gland is also known as tear gland. It is also known as tear glands, and these glands help in secretion of tear or lacrimal. Lacrimal or tear acts as a lubricating substance, and it moistens the upper surface of the eye, as well as it has an antiseptic substance, lysozyme, and this lysozyme is helpful in killing or neutralizing germs if entered in the eye through the water or air. So lysozyme, antiseptic substance, it is present in the tear and it kills the germs. Now here you can see these are the duct of lacrimal glands, and it helps in carrying lacrimal or tear from the tear gland to the edges of eyelid, so that from here it is poured on the upper surface of our eye, and when eyelids move, then it can be distributed on the front part of the eye. Here you can see these are the two lacrimal duct, and lacrimal duct help in carrying the lacrimal from the lacrimal gland to the sac-like structure for storage, and it is known as lacrimal sac. It is known as lacrimal sac. And in this sac, tear is stored, and again this is nasolacrimal duct, and through this duct the lacrimal sac is connected with the throat, and sometimes when we pour some eye drops in our eye, then we can feel its flavor in our mouth and nose due to the presence of nasolacrimal duct. After it, here eyeball can be divided into, means the wall of eyeball divided into three parts, and these are, outermost is sclera, this one is the sclera. So sclera is made up of tough fibrous structures or tissues, and it is white in color. So in the front part of our eye, the white part is the sclera, and it becomes transparent and bulged out and form cornea. So cornea, which covers the colored part, and the outermost covering of the front part of eye, which is known as conjunctiva. So conjunctiva, this one here, it is conjunctiva, and it is a covering on the front part of our eye, and it protects our eyes from entering the germs, dust particles, etc. And it is very preventive in nature. So it is a single cell layer structure, and it is transparent. This conjunctiva is connected with inner lining of the eyelids, so that entry of germs and dust particles cannot take place. Here you can see these two structures. Here it is iris. So iris is the colored part of our eye actually, and on the basis of the color of iris, the human color may be blue, black or brown. So our color of eye is based on the color of iris actually, and in the middle of the iris there is a pupil. Actually pupil is colorless, but it looks dark in color, because choroid layer, which is the second layer of our eyeball, it contains melanin pigment, and due to presence of melanin, when iris are not scattered, it is absorbed by the choroid layer. Then the pupil looks like dark in color. Here eyeball, which is composed of three layers, 1, 2, 3. These are the three concentric layers, and the outermost layer is the sclera. It is also known as sclerotic layer. It protects our eyeball. And the second, here it is choroid layer. Choroid layer is dark brown, or you can say black in color, due to presence of dark brown colored melanin pigment. It has highly vascular in nature. It has a number of capillary networks, so that it can provide nourishment to the eye cells or eye tissues. In the front part, the sclera, it becomes colorless, means transparent, and burst out and forms cornea. So cornea forms second layer, and above the cornea, here it is the conjunctiva. So conjunctiva are connected with two eyelids, and it is protective in nature. Second, here this one, cornea, it covers the colored part of our eye, and here cornea also helps in refraction of light. When light rays comes inside towards the eye, it can be refracted and formation of image takes place on the image, on the retina. This structure means just below the cornea there is a chamber, and this chamber is known as aqueous chamber. This one is the aqueous chamber, and in this chamber, which is located between cornea and the lens, aqueous chamber is located between cornea and the lens, and between these in this chamber aqueous humour is present. Aqueous humour, which is a watery jelly-like substance, and its density is more than water, and it refracts the light as well as it protects the lens, it moistens the lens, and after it, here you can see these are the two iris. Iris are extended part of the choroid. Here this one is the choroid. Choroid expands and it forms the iris. The color of iris shows the color of our eyes. It may be blue or brown or black. So here these are the two expanded parts of the choroid known as iris. Iris has two different types of muscles or tissues. These are radial for contraction, and second is radial for contraction and second circular, which constrict. So these are the two different types of tissues present in the iris, and as a result iris can constrict or expand to for entering, which helps in entering the light rays towards the lens. After it, here we can see a muscular structure, and it is known as ciliary muscle. So ciliary muscles are the condensed mass-like structure which is made up of choroid, and choroid means ciliary muscle is connected with the lens with the help of a ligament which is known as suspensory ligament. So suspensory ligament attaches or connects lens to the ciliary muscle. Between the iris, this one, the window-like structure, a circular structure known as pupil. So pupil is present in between the iris. So iris surrounds the pupil, and the size of pupil can be altered due to relaxation or contraction of the iris. Pupil helps in entering the light rays. Just after it, here lens is the crystalline structure. It is crystalline because it is made up of lens fibers, and lens fibers are the type of cells in which nuclei are not present. So nucleus is not present in the cells of the lens, that's why it cannot divide. Lens is biconvex in nature, means it is a convex lens, and this convex lens is elastic in nature so that it can be more convex as well as less convex. After it, the third concentric layer or membrane, which is known as retina, and this retina, here it is retina which is transparent, and it is necessary because image formation takes place on the retina. So retina has two different types of cells or receptors, and these are number one, cones cells, and second, rods. Cones, which are sensitive to bright light, and it has a pigment known as visual violet, which is also known as iodopsin. So visual violet or iodopsin is present in the cones or cone cells, which is sensitive to bright light or color vision. Rods, their inner ends are rod-like, rod-shaped. That's why these are known as rod cells or rods. And it has a pigment which is known as visual purple, which is also known as rhodopsin. So rhodopsin is the pigment present in the rods, and rods are sensitive to dim light. Cones are sensitive to bright light. Cones have visual violet or iodopsin, which is a type of pigment, and rods have visual purple or rhodopsin, and it is sensitive to the dim light. So retina has two different types of receptors or photoreceptors known as cones and rods. Cones and rods are distributed on the retina, but most of the receptors or cones and rods are present on the yellow spot. Mostly the cones are confined to yellow spot, and therefore yellow spot is the best vision area or color vision area of our eye. Yellow spot is located on the horizontal axis of the eyeball. It is located, you can say it is located at the center of retina, and it is the best vision area or color vision area because it contains cones or visual violet or iodopsin. Cones have visual violet and or iodopsin. So after it yellow spot, there is a blind spot, and blind spot is located laterally just below the yellow spot and on the retina, and this blind spot is called as no vision area because the receptors or the sensory cells present here are confined, or you can say combined together to form optic nerve, and this optic nerve carries impulse from the retina to the brain, and therefore optic nerve is made up of nerve fibers of rods mostly, and also the cones, and it carries messages or impulse from retina to the brain. So optic nerve. Now this structure, which is the bulkiest part of our eyeball, is the vitreous chamber. Vitreous chamber is located between lens and the retina, and it contains vitreous humor, which is denser than aqueous humor. Here aqueous humor is present. So vitreous humor is denser than aqueous humor, and it again reflects the light. But most of the important function of vitreous humor is it maintains the shape of the eyeball. So vitreous humor is very important to maintain shape of eyeball, and also it protects the nerve fibers and the retina. Nerve fibers which are located on the retina are protected by vitreous humor and nourished by vitreous humor. So in this way, here different parts of our eye and their functions and locations. So once again, in short, sclera is the outermost part of the eye and it provides proper shape and protects the entire part of the eye. Second is choroid. Choroid is located between retina and sclera and it contains melanin function. It prevents scattering and reflection of light rays. Retina is the innermost layer of our eyeball and it is the site of image formation. Yellow spot is located at the center of horizontal axis of eyeball and it is the best vision area or color vision area. Blind spot is located just below the yellow spot on the retina and it is called as no vision area and it helps in origin of optic nerve. Now optic nerve is the nerve which is originated from blind spot located on the retina and it carries impulse from retina to the brain for vision. Vitreous chamber is located between lens and retina. It contains vitreous humor. Now vitreous humor is present in the vitreous chamber and it helps in maintaining the shape of the eyeball and it protects the nerve fibers and the retina. Now in the front part, here lens is biconvex and it is elastic in nature. It is located between aqueous humor and vitreous humor, or you can say it is located just behind the pupil. Lens, it helps in image formation. Here suspensory ligaments are located on either side of the lens and it connects lens to the ciliary muscle. Ciliary muscle is the part of choroid and these are located on either side of the suspensory ligament and it helps in altering the shape of the lens. Here iris is the expanded part of choroid and it helps in regulating the size of the pupil. Aqueous humor is located between in the aqueous chamber which is located between cornea and lens. Aqueous humor moistens the lens and also it protects the lens and also it refracts light rays. Now cornea is located just below the conjunctiva and it refracts the light. Conjunctiva, it is the outermost transparent layer of the front part of eye. It protects the entry of germs and dust particles to the eye. Here eyelashes are located on the edges of the eyelids and they help in entering the small particles as well dust particles as well as germs to the eye. And also here lacrimal gland, it is located in the upper side, in the outward upper side of the orbit and it secretes tear which helps in lubricating the eye as well as it contains lysozyme which prevents or kills the germs if entered in the eye. And lacrimal sac is located in between the two eyes in the upper portion, and it stores tears. Nasolacrimal duct is the lower part. It is located below the lacrimal sac, and it connects our eye to the throat or pharynx. And pupil, it is the circular structure between inside the iris, and it passes the rays towards the lens. So in this way, it is the cross section of human eye. We have studied about the different parts of the eye and their location and functions. So in the next class, we will discuss about different types of accommodation of eye and adaptations in the eye, as well as the different eye defects and their treatment or cure. So thank you, students.